same time, they're doing a great job maintaining their builds management. They're doing an even better job, though, with their surge management, Reese. It really just feels as though this duo in particular has never had to worry about the added pressure from those zones and the surge on top of it.
And this is like a far zone for them, too. This is a complete south side of the map, and they don't even need to struggle with surge then. Usually it's easier when it's in your home zone, but for them, this is max distance.
No, and that's the other thing, too, is that I think Queasy and Vino, they kind of just have such a strong understanding that even as they're maintaining their mobility, trying to maintain that high ground control, it seems as though they're just completely aware of their surroundings. They're making sure to get their tags in early. They're making sure to maintain those tags throughout. And honestly, it's just led to them being consistent. But we know that's what they're best at.
I think when we see the leaderboards.
These right here.
These right here.
We'll take
I'm wrong.
Top to bottom, Joe and Ziandi do take over. But I think the key factor here is in 6th place, Fastroki, Kylie, they get themselves that victory royale. They move up the 9 places, and now this is a duo looking to break into top 5.
Yeah, this is massive for them as well, because out of the 4 set lobbies that they've played so far this season, they've only had one game that was in the top 10, and that was the game that they won in the semifinals. So if we're going to put pieces together here, every game they've gotten into the top 10 so far, they've actually managed to win. So this is massive for them starting already and moving up the leaderboards.
That was a fat shot, though, from Fastroki, just absolutely dominating Andy on the end point there. And a little bit tragic as well when you think about it for Andy, because this is just kind of seeming to be a little bit of a repeat from earlier rounds. They're just so close, but no cigar.
Exactly. Now, we have a lot of our top teams, Jonesy, Andy, Vadil, Janice, also a massive solo clutch for them. Loved it. Pinker and Ass, for a moment, were in 1st place. I saw the golden sparkles, because if we went the previous game, I think it was like 93, 92 or something. Really, really close to the top of the leaderboard, what it was. So huge for them. They obviously picked up a couple of early eliminations that pushed them up, but they weren't able to outshine the likes of Joe and Ziandi, who placed 2nd.
But we have been seeing them completely outshine every single one of their, I shouldn't say every single one of their past performances, but if you look at the history of this duo, I think in general, this is without a doubt, as mentioned earlier, probably one of their best showings yet. It's just amazing to see the consistency really start to fall into place for them. We've been seeing them time and time again in those final 10 duos, and I think at this rate, they're looking to set themselves up pretty nicely for day 2.
That's what this is all about. Remember, with the 6 games tomorrow, you know they want to cement themselves in a good spot. Talk about Storm Surge, because I'm kind of curious to see how that's developing.
I'm coming. So on this, we're going to notice, ooh, purple, the mood has been set, because we're going to be talking about Storm Surge, of course. To enable to keep yourself from being damaged from the lobby, you need to do some damage to other players. And what I want to point out is the first zone here, of course. This is our map. It was down in the southeast corner. So if we actually have to look at the Coney Crossroads area, this is where Andlex and Snazy drop, right? And one of the things they can do in a zone like this is they can look up to all of these teams up here, because they're going to be rotating into this direction, right? So if we play, let's hit pause on those clips. You'll see that they actually managed to get the one taxi that's on the map, and they can box it up in their drop spot. So they're going to hide it here, because remember, that zone pulls down. So if they've got a far zone, they can use this to rotate. And this is what they build, a massive tower. Now, they usually build this out of brick instead to make it a little bit more solid, but they've just done it out of wood this time. Can I give you some analysis on why? Probably not, just to save some mats at that point. Now they've got such great vision over the entire area of all those teams that are rotating in. And now with the far zone, they can just use this car to keep themselves moving all the way down, of course, into what will be a southeast zone for them.
I love it, man. I'm telling you.
I love you.
Reese, I was going to make a good point. You can't just throw me off and say that.
You got to be a professional. You got to stay the course.
Impossible.
Moving kind of fast.
Impossible. But it is that time, because we are ready to jump on that battle bus once again. But it's the penultimate game with 2 games left to go. How will these players look to ready themselves going into day 2? Let's find out. This is game 5.
Game 5.
The 5th opportunity for players to shake the standings up. We've already seen some great plays be made all throughout the day, but in game 5 and 6, those are the games where you start to really solidify yourself as a potential champion.
Look, normally this would be the last or a second to last match of the tournament. But with a whole other day to go, this is just the second to last match of the day. This is the time where the players have already figured out how the lobby is working, how their opponents are playing, but they want to finish strong. They want that confidence boost for day number 2. They want to be at the top of the leaderboard so they don't have to do as much work in the second day, but it's up to the duos gotta prove themselves.
Of course, and this is what the FNCS is all about, right? Proving to your competitors, proving to your fans, proving to yourself that you have what it takes to be the champion at the end of it. I think the big thing now is, are we going to start to see more drastic changes? We've already seen some minor ones where teams are moving into different places on the map. We've seen a couple players get bossed off spawn a couple times and not moving. So as we head into this 5th game, will that change? Will we see people finally decide they don't want the smoke with a couple players by the name of Tayson and Chapix off spawn? That will be the big question.
You've said it yourself, but we're focusing on Vanyak and Karmi, another duo in one of those almost 50-50 early game engagements as Vanyak is forced to make a run for it without a weapon, and Karmi with the DMR trying to connect the shots, but it's difficult, especially at a close range when you have more medium to long range weapon to work with. This Karmi now is going to get knocked out. What I'm curious is Tayson and Chapix, they're 4-0. Will they be able to make it 5-0? We'll find out now as Tayson's gone down. Chapix in the 1 versus 2. He gets the first one, and he's 1 shot away from getting the second one. But Puttasai gets the refresh. He gets the siphon, 50 HP from finishing off Tayson. And he takes down Chapix. 4-0 now turned into 4-1.
Wow, okay. So, Puttasai and Xweez decided to stick to their guns and continue to contest at the north of Loot Lake, and finally they have won off spawn against Tayson and Chapix. Wow, it took them a while, but I guess there's no better time than the present. And so they now have the chance to fight in this game. But for Tayson and Chapix, having to spend the next almost half an hour just sitting back and watching is not going to be a fun time whatsoever.
Look, it's exciting to see who takes home the tournament, but it's also exciting to see these off-spawn engagements and who is able to win a majority of the times. For Force and Shizo here, 34th spot. They need to do more than just win an off-spawn engagement. Flixie and Frey down below. No shields to their name, but a knock. Force gone down. Now Frey unable to help his teammate with the last elimination, but Flixie is more than comfortable enough taking out the last one. 1 elim for each player, and now they'll continue moving forwards.
Yeah, and that's good because obviously we saw Frey and Flixie go down last game, and so going down 2 games in a row like that would have put their mental in a really bad spot going into that final game. And as much as there's so much preparation tactically for these players, there's so much preparation technically getting your mechanics up to scratch, one of the biggest and most important factors on the day of FNCS final is your mental game. Can you keep that in check? And there are always going to be hurdles that you face along the way. Going down on spawn is certainly one of them. But we'll see how Frey and Flixie are able to bounce back and use this opportunity.
Okay, hej alle sammen, det her det er bare sådan en FNCS-hygge ting.
Off-spawn engagements, and you just lose your first one. They're not going to let it affect them too much. I mean, they're still up on the leaderboard. They're still doing a great job, and there's 12 matches to be played out. Just the GGs go next. But for Janice and Vadil, 2nd place spot, uncontested in Greasy Grove. They're feeling more than happy right now if they're able to keep their position. But a duo that might not be feeling as happy. Seti and Cammy in 18th, they went down early in the last match, dropped them in the leaderboard. But Kezix and 4ZR, they've been showing their dominance at the start of these matches.
Yeah, this is now another game where we're seeing them win a fight early on. And so, yeah, certainly a decent couple of games for these two in terms of the earlier phase of the game. It's all about doing it, though, in the latter stages as well, which is where the question mark will be about that team. A little bit of info there. Queasy and Vino, the only duo that has placed top 10 in every game. That is good news to my ears as somebody who has predicted them to win the whole thing. But also for them, it's just shown their consistency. Their level of understanding is so far ahead and beyond everybody else in the lobby that they just know that they can consistently make it deep into games without any real struggles, it seems. But can they do that again across these next 2 and the 6 tomorrow as well?
That is the question. Can they do it? Just like can Flois and Hellfire get the 2 eliminations they need here. Already performing so well in top 10. But they want more than that. They want to push themselves up. Have the chug splashes. Have double grapple gloves. They do land on those grapple gloves on the east side. So it's good to see them making it off spawn every match. The issue is they need that damage. They need those tags. And a duo that needs more than just tags. Default Stormy right. As his duo partner's gone down and he knows there's duos close by, he can't try and disengage right now. They could find him as a solo, catch him off guard. And Mr. Savage in hand looking a lot like Seti and Cammy on this hill right now.
Yeah, this is a position that we often see Cammy and Seti take up. It's interesting to see that Mr. Savage actually is taking that position now. Of course, they do share a coach now, actually, with Mr. Savage joining BL. And so maybe some shared strategy there. But the big concern right now on our screens is the fact that Queasy's actually gone down. I'm assuming he was knocked while trying to take a bloom fight, which isn't uncommon, but not the kind of thing you want to see from a team that has been doing so well in the competition. Fortunately for them, though, it means that they will all be picked up with some relative ease.
Got a little scared there when Queasy went down as Clown and Refsguard were both up, but luckily enough, Clown and Refsguard had to recuperate the HP and shield they lost previously and didn't have time to make a push. So now the revives came through. JJ2 aware, looking to see if they can deny a revive opportunity as both players are up right now. And they're just playing it a bit slow. Getting the angles, getting the shots. They know that there's players from afar taking shots as well. That's why JJ2 is covering multiple angles here. Does not want to lose unnecessary shield. And aware, helping out at a different side, trying to sandwich an opponent and just find that opening.
This is a fight between two teams that very much has shown across this season that they, when given the chance, when given the moment, can certainly shine bright. But in the case of Aware and JJ2, it's been a rather dim day. And for Swag and Pablo, even though it hasn't been bad per se, they'll certainly be hoping that they can win this fight on and continue to move up on the leaderboard. 14th place is not too bad at all.
But the more they continue to seek, the more they hunt, the more the clock ticks. First zone still permits them to take more time, but there hasn't been a big entry into this engagement yet. It's been more little tickling each other until one of them finds the right moment to strike, and Aware might have done just that as he gets 2 nice tags, but it's not one big enough to give him the confidence to go all in here. His duo partner now cracked, forcing him to have to try and bring a bit of backup. But he just has to focus on not getting caught off here. When you're taking these 2v2 box fights, the worst thing that can happen is one of you to get boxed up and eliminated quickly without giving the chance of your duo partner to help out. And with Aware and JJ2 taking 2 different angles, it opens up that possibility for their opponents to pick one of them off guard. But so far they're playing it well enough defensively that they haven't got elimmed, but the time is still going down. The clock, it's still ticking.
This might be a bit random, right? But I'm actually surprised because typically in these kind of zones, Queasy would be positioned up on that big shifty hill. And so I would have expected these guys to have this fight, you know, somewhat third-partied from a distance, but those shots haven't been coming in. We just saw in the map view 2 pairs of arrows in shifty. So I believe actually Queasy and Veno might be in a bit of trouble over there, because I would have expected them to maybe have taken advantage of those players. We'll see, though, what happens as the game moves on for Mustache and Malibuka, though. We obviously saw Malibuka having to clutch as a solo for a large part of that final game. Well, not final game, but the game we just saw. And he actually did quite well, Takara.
He did more than quite well. I mean, he played as a solo from 5th zone, not even first moving. Even before that, and clutched it into the top 5. That is incredibly difficult, but you said it yourself, Levin. Queasy Vino, why weren't they on the hill? It's because they were in trouble. But is that trouble gonna be enough to take them out? As we've seen the dominance from this duo throughout these matches. 3rd place spot up above now. Not forced to take the engagement, so they might just disengage and go to the position we'd see them normally.
They're saying not forced, but certainly having to pay for it. Look how much materials they've had to use. Look at the HP Leno lost along the way. This has certainly been a costly fight for this team, even if there wasn't any definitive conclusion. And so we'll see how they reinvent themselves in this one. Things clearly going a bit off script for them, with Clown and Rescard jumping into the picture. But that's what makes a great IGL, an IGL who's able to adapt when things do go a bit off plan. And so if Queasy truly is the best IGL in the game, hopefully we'll see that reflect in how this game goes for this team.
Not just this game, this whole tournament. As we've said it multiple times, but I can't stress it. Queasy Vino, they have a big shot of taking it home, but they're gonna have to perform to do so. We're seeing a little bit of pop shots coming in from Guden and Vaken here. Only 19 above, so they are on a little bit of a stressful situation, but with that shot coming through, connecting, that stress slowly is getting taken away as the engagement goes upwards, gets higher and higher. The risk also gets higher as the vision for the players in the surroundings. The openings appear. And now Paco up top, close to Walks, close to Rabob. Paco has to find something to do here or he's getting knocked out.
He didn't even give me enough time to say anything, mate. Walks and Rabob. Again, this has been a team that's been very, very quiet so far today. In the first game, they had a bit of struggles as well, unfortunately. Some technical difficulties on their side meant that they didn't start off the day the best way. And so hopefully now they've reset mentally and they can start to get back involved in the action. Rico, okay, he's hitting shots again. I say that and he misses one, but eventually will connect again. And look at the scream. Oh my goodness.
I bet I can hear that myself right now.
I really do not want to hear what he said there, but I am very happy for them picking up both of those at Tilted Towers. But that's why people talk so highly of Vico. His mechanical prowess is top-notch, one of the best mechanical players in competitive Fortnite right now.
What you love to see as we switch on over. I drop Jerky, 27 below, and Jerky, he cannot stand a tick of Storm Surge as I drop is forced to find these tags quickly or his duo partner is gonna go down, and there it is. Jerky goes down, I drop left alone, 74 below, shots coming in from his side. Opponents hearing that ticking, that lightning bolt striking onto I drop. The crack comes through, but they can't push him as a solo as there is another engagement going on. It's Refsguard, it's Clown. From Queasy Vino to Aware, gets the Elim. I drop as well going down. And now for this duo, although they've got into the eliminations, they have to make their way to the zone. And as Karma goes down in this engagement, it opens up a shot for Thomas HD and Tripburn, but being cracked, he has to spend this time to recuperate what he lost.
I don't even know what I just saw much really. I feel like we just went from so much action at Shifty to a big fight over here that has now cooled down with Marion and Nebs being able to stay alive, but they haven't quite done too well overall on the standings. And there are still opportunities to change that. Janice and Vidil, the team that currently holds second place, what can they do in this fight? Barely staying alive.
5 health. That was a close one, Lemon.
Yeah, it's about as close as you can get, right? You know, very nervy situations for Janice, but I'm sure he was cool and calm the whole time round, knowing that Vidil was just around the corner to help him out. Back over to the shifty action, though. You don't want to hear me talk about Badil and Janice. You want to hear me talking about this fight between Veno, Queasy, Clown, and Revscod. Veno.
Be careful, Veno. Is not a position you want to be in. They disengaged from the engagement initially, but now walking back through as Revscod and Clown, that much more confidence from the 3 eliminations.
Do they have whites? To get Veno back up? I think they do.
They have a little... Oh, no. Veno doesn't even have shields.
They don't have whites.
Queasy has minis. No whites. This is dangerous, Levin.
Time is running out. They just have to run away and find something or just hit the shots, and just a matter of seconds left to do it. The desperation clearly in Queasy's eyes right now. And almost... so high up in the standings. 3rd place it was, going down in game 5.
They went down in the 33rd spot.